He picked up an antique hat.
Oh, nice.
No, let's see. I'm working. This kind of weather, I'm riding my bike. I still need
Yeah.
There's a good hat shop down in Darby.
Darby, that's where I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
There's a hat shop in Darby.
Double H hats.
Like
Yeah.
cowboy hats, like for
Or
tourists.
anything. I've had a hat made there.
Or you're an actual cattle person, horse person.
But yeah, they have good hats. And then in Bozeman, right outside of Bozeman.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
everybody.
hats.
Welcome, everybody, to our admin meeting for Thursday, April 13th, 2023. Annie, would you mind doing a roll call?
Absolutely. Online, it looks like we have Andrew Chorney, Blaine Metz, Alicia Beckholz, Kayla Talbert, Kyla Leonards, Melissa Fisher, Sarah Heineman, Shane Stack, Tammy Adams, Tim Worley, Violet Plummer, Leidy Wagner, and MCAT.
Fantastic. Sounds like a great crew. Before we dive in, do we have any public comment on items not on the agenda?
This goes into 206.
Oh, shoot.
I'm sure they can see us all, but we have Commissioners Slotnick, Vero, Strohmeyer, Chris Lounsbury, John Hart, myself, Annie Kathy, and Cheryl Hartman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sorry.
No worries. Any public comment on items not on the agenda?
I do have an announcement.
Announce away.
So it's been a while since I've said anything about the Big Sky Passenger Rail.
20 minutes, I believe.
Yes. Actually, I was on the phone with someone. So
When can I get on a train?
yes, so we received a $25,000 grant from the Montana Healthcare Foundation to conduct rural and tribal stakeholder meetings across the state of Montana.
Great.
Oh, congratulations.
Dave, does that mean you guys hire a consultant to do that engagement, or will one of you be doing that work?
It will be a combo. So
Okay.
we will be hiring consultant help to do the meeting facilitation. We will have meetings on the Flathead Reservation, Northern Cheyenne, Crow Reservations, and also in Paradise, Montana,
Wow.
near the location of the recent derailment
Yeah.
of deer into
Yeah.
the river, Forsyth, and also Glendive.
Damn.
So,
Oh, well done.
When do they start?
It will be next month sometime.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. Good. Continued good work. Thanks.
Yes.
Okay, on to the consent agenda. Is there anything in that consent agenda anyone would like to pull out and speak of?
Not, I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second,
All right, all in favor?
I,
Okay, thanks, everybody. Consent agenda is passed. Okay, on to action items. John Hart.
Well, Commissioners, I'm certain you'll remember that on May 24th last year, you signed on.
like yesterday.
Signed on to a subdivision improvements agreement with Bonner Homes West, who's developing the Bonner West subdivision. And at that time, there was $63,195 and change in infrastructure that remained to be approved and constructed. And so we entered into that improvements agreement, and unfortunately, not all the improvements are going to be completed by the expiration of that agreement, which the date of the expiration is May 31st of this year. The good news, however, is that there's only one sidewalk that needs to be constructed. The sidewalk on Cold Smoke Avenue must be very close to the amphitheater. I'm just guessing. And that's only an $11,000 projected project. The Bonner West last year submitted a cashier's check to the county in the amount of $63,195, and they have elected to just let us keep that as security for an extension agreement. The extension agreement is what's in front of you this morning. And we have adequate security to guarantee that sidewalk on Cold Smoke Avenue. And this extension agreement obligates Homes West to complete that sidewalk by September 30th of this year. And I've been told that the delay was more to do with some permitting from MDT, but don't quote me on that. And that permitting is now in place and the sidewalk will be constructed soon. So with that, I recommend that you approve and sign the extension agreement between Missoula County and Bonner Homes West.
Great. Well, given the scale of the improvements left to do being small, the dollars being small, the time deadline being short, seems just fine.
Yeah, great. But we have the best kind of,
It's a check in hand.
it's essentially cash.
I move to approve the extension agreement.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Oh, any public comment on this? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thanks.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, John.
Annie, unlike a lot of these, this one gets just recorded
Just
as
recorded.
is.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right, Shane Stacks up next.
Morning, Commissioners. I think I actually will end up with the next two agenda items. I'm gonna do my best to duplicate Eric Dixon's effort in the next item, but this first item is essentially a request to submit a motion to expand or amend the place of use for the Lolo Water System Well 1, or the RSID 901 Well 1. If you recall, we've worked with DNRC on well 2 and 3 for the amendment to the place of use for both of those wells. And we were going through the same process on well 1, but because of the age of well 1, we have to go through the water court, which is just a different process than going through DNRC. So this is kind of just the first step in going through the water court to amend the place of use for well 1. So just a simple signing the motion and we'll get that to the water court and start that process. I guess maybe a little bit of background. Currently well 1, 2, and 3 all have different places of uses. They are not the same, but yet the water from all of those wells are used in essentially the same place. So what we're trying to do is two things. One, expand the place of use for those wells to make sure that the water that is being used is actually utilized in those specific place of uses. And the other thing is making sure to expand that place of use far enough out to accommodate future growth that Lolo might see in the next 50 to 75 years.
Okay, I'd move that we authorize the chair to sign the motion.
Second.
All right, any public comment? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Good job, Shane,
Thanks.
making growth possible in Lolo.
The next item also deals with RSID 901 and the water system. ARPA funds have been directed towards improvements for the water and sewer system in Lolo. So this next agenda item essentially is signing a contract and approving a contract with MRI Contracting in the amount of $468,482.25 for improvements to a water main or the construction of a water main on Lewis and Clark and Farm Lane in Lolo. So essentially, from Highway 93 along Lewis and Clark and Farm Lane to the connection of the existing water main. That's basically the project. I will say we've got good prices from the contractor. The contractor is ready to go. So as soon as you sign this, we actually have excavators idling.
Oh,
Okay.
and Shane, this is gonna make water available to the new school, right?
It does a couple of things, Josh. It certainly increases the water flow that the school will need, but it also provides additional or redundant system in connection. Basically, the water system is kind of broken up into kind of two sides, and right now we only have one connection from, call it the east side to the west side across the railroad tracks. So with this project, we'll have some redundancy, and then we also have another piece on Tyler Way that will include redundancy. So when we do have, if we have to make an improvement to the system, and we need to shut down a main, it doesn't mean that we're shutting down an entire segment of the community, which has happened twice in the last 3 or 4 years where we've had water line breaks and we are shutting down a community on a water system, where this provides that redundancy where everybody would still have that water. Maybe 3 or 4 people would be out with water for a day.
Really good improvement.
I move that we approve the PSA with Emerine Contracting and not let the excavators idle.
Second.
Any public comment on this? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Right,
The excavators are now digging.
Yeah.
there you go.
Jane, did you need your item and Eric's item back immediately or just Eric's?
Just Eric's, and as soon as you get me the item for mine with the motion to amend, I'll get that to our attorney and have him get that sent out.
Thank you.
There's Caroline Bean.
Morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well, enjoying Mount Jumbo Day today, as I like to call it, with the reopening.
The elk running away.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday all the elk were out and about. I think it was their Mount Jumbo Day yesterday. They knew it was the end. But that is not why I'm here today. I'm here to ask you all to approve our submission to the Environmental Protection Agency's Environmental Justice Government to Government program. This proposal highlights a one-stop shop for energy efficiency and renewable energy, which was an option named in our 100% clean electricity options report, as well as our Climate Ready Missoula plan as a key strategy. So we're pursuing funding to put this idea into action through more dedicated funding and capacity towards these ideas.
I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
That sounds,
Geez, I know.
sounds good. I would move that we authorize the chair to sign the report.
Second,
Any public comment on this?
really excited for you, Caroline.
Yeah. Well
Thank
done.
you. Fingers crossed till December.
On
Yeah,
favor.
till December.
We got a aye.
Aye.
Oh, aye, sorry.
Hey, Caroline, this is just, if I just say this, then I don't have to put it in an email. I talked to Deshane a couple days ago and he had some climate things. Would you
Okay.
mind reaching out to Deshane?
Absolutely. I'll do that after this.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you all.
We'll be holding our breath till December.
Don't hold it too hard. There's too many other things to do.
Little
Thanks,
straw.
everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks.
you.
And Blaine is up next.
One day there'll be bathrooms out there.
Yeah.
Working on it. Can you hear me? Sorry, I'm a little under the weather, so I figured I'd spare my presence in the confined space.
Thanks.
First item here is for additional time and materials involved in actually setting up those 88 restrooms. We are at the point now where we just got the big office trailer over there, which was kind of the crux point of getting the restrooms put over because one had to come before the other. But this item is for additional work to actually get those things weatherized for use. So total cost $4,954 for that additional work with Structure West.
So commissioners, I'm just gonna add a little bit to what Blaine said. So as part of our procurement for this, we ended up separating out the contract between Garden City and Shelter West. As you know, we've been operating under a variance from the health department out there, and so there's some sense of urgency around that. So working in conjunction with the auditor, with Ethan, with Blaine, we decided dividing out those contracts for the works made the most sense because of the
Great.
necessary timeline. Just so you have that, because normally we would do this as one thing, and that's why you're seeing these as 3 separate contracts instead of collected contracts, just so you know. So.
Thanks.
I did not read ahead.
Thanks.
Okay.
No,
thanks, Chris.
The next one's coming.
Well, I'd move to approve amendment number 1.
Any public comment? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Great. The next item here is for Structure West's work to modify the big office trailer that we just got over there. So it's going to involve few different things, but they're going to be building skirting around the base of it, installing walkthroughs and access doors to allow for access to those piping for future maintenance needs. He's also going to be designing and building a trailer entry with landing and stairs and ADA access for that trailer. So that is that particular item. All of that work there for $17,830.
Great. I would move that we approve the PSA for exactly that.
Second.
All right, any public comment on this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for moving this along, Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Certainly. It's been a process. Finally, yeah, this is a contract for Garden City Plumbing and Heating's work regarding the office trailer. This is going to involve a few different things: connecting the outside water service, connecting the above ground waste to the trailer, as well as ensuring all work includes city permits. So total cost $12,876, and this work is going to start here pretty soon, but we are still working on getting it fully blocked and leveled with more hauling and digging, or digging and hauling, I forget. But yes, it's coming in here in short order.
Great.
I'd move that we approve the PSA with Garden City Plumbing and Heating.
Second.
All right, any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
So commissioners, just before you jump to your next item, I just wanted to recognize the work that Blaine and Ethan have put in to to all of these projects, but just moving the office trailer piece has been a large lift, given the complexity of the structure and the city permitting process and getting a vendor who could actually haul and move the trailer. And I just want to recognize the extra effort, because they have gone very clearly above and beyond to make it actually happen.
Way to go, Blaine.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
I'll be honest, we put flagging services in Chris's contract to get the trailer over there, and we ended up running around like rodeo clowns, myself and Guy Johnson, doing some traffic flagging ourselves. It's been a fun process.
Oh my God.
I was nervous the rodeo clown's gonna get hit by the bull. Does that mean Blaine shot?
At any rate,
Oh,
it's been a fun
Thanks
process.
so much for doing it. It's a huge accomplishment moving this forward.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, some correspondence. This one we've been eagerly awaiting. Kaylee.
Good morning. Yes, so these two letters are proposed to be submitted to DEQ and DNRC. There's been a permit sent to both entities for gravel operations at a 21-acre area on DNRC state trust lands near Elbow Lake, south of Seeley Lake. The reason that there are permits being sent to both agencies has to do with all gravel operations needing to be permitted through DEQ. So that's one entity. And then the second agency, DNRC, because it's proposed to be on state trust land. So they also need to go through their own review process to allow this to happen. Since I submitted the letter to you all for review, we received a letter from the Seeley Lake Community Council, and they discussed this at their Monday, April 10th meeting, and then sent the commissioners a letter outlining their concerns that they heard from constituents at the meeting, and also recommending to DEQ or DNRC an extension of the comment period for about a month. So I would recommend, since to make some adjustments to the commissioners' letters to DEQ and DNRC, to highlight the concerns that were brought up at the Seeley Lake Community Council meeting, as well as including that they've requested a 30-day extension on the comment period. And then you could attach the Seeley Lake letter as they wrote it with the letter that you submit to DNRC and DEQ in order to pass along their concerns. That's what I would recommend on that.
Let's do that. Good idea.
Thanks.
Excellent plan. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, that's it. As long as the letter looks good once we make those additions, yeah, we can go ahead and get that sent off. The Comment period currently closes on April 16th, which is Monday, so we would just need to get that out by tomorrow.
Thank you. And then how are we sending the letter to folks who've requested copies of our
Yeah, that's
letter?
a great question. There's been
Yeah,
a lot
so yeah. What we could do, and this could either come from staff or from the commissioners, either way, is to send our letter along with links to the DNRC comment page as well as the DEQ comment page so that those concerned individuals both have your letter and also can keep tabs as the process moves forward, because there will likely be other opportunities to comment.
That would be fantastic. Do you think we
Great.
could have that, use our comm staff so that everyone who sent a note on this to the BCC mailbox could get this reply?
Sounds like an excellent idea.
Okay, do
Yeah.
we do Allison on that?
Yeah, we can get it to
Okay,
Allison.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your work. on
Thanks,
this.
Cheryl and
And
Kyle.
Cheryl, yeah, because it'll be you too. Everyone who wrote us about this should get the package that Kayla's putting together. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Haley, I will send you over these final drafts that I have so that you can edit on the final drafts.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any legislative things? to talk
Not a ton of legislative things, just as an FYI, the TIF bill, Senate Bill 523 is up for hearing. Emily will be testifying on that bill.
Is she gonna go?
I believe she's going to testify in person, yes.
That's great.
As you know, we're winding down the legislative session, so
Yeah.
the next couple of weeks here, we'll really see a shift more towards floor session and away from committees. Because there are 16, today's the 13th, 17 legislative days left before the calendar runs out on the 90-day session. And usually they don't take all 90, so we are getting near the end.
Do you know if there are any other business folks from our area going to?
I do not. I know for the original hearing on the Senate side, there were quite a few business folks who
Great.
came in, and I assume this will be the case on the House side where it was transmitted over, but that's not for sure.
So, okay.
So,
Good.
Yeah.
And when you were telling us the other day, sort of just education and definitions around free
conference, yep.
Do we get notified that those things are happening?
Yeah,
how
so
does that work?
free conferences, so two different types of conferences on bills. So if the House or Senate amend a bill and the other House does not accept the amendments, the bill goes to conference, and it can go to one of two different types. Traditional conference committee means that they can only amend the language that's in the bill as it exists.
Mhm.
And basically there's an equal number of representatives from the House to the equal number of senators, and theoretically they're representing the entire body so that they can reach agreement in that, and then it goes back to both houses for them to vote. Senate and House vote in essence simultaneously on that amended version. And then the other version is what's known as a free conference committee, and in a free conference committee they literally can do anything to the bill. So they can actually remove all of the existing language and put in completely new language so long as it fits in the title of the bill. And we do know when those are going to happen because they're assigned during the floor session to either free conference or conference committee. And then those committee meetings happen. They make efforts to have those conference committees be available to watch remotely, but they don't take comment during those. So we don't have the ability to kind of interact with our legislators the way we do during the normal bill drafting process.
Okay.
Just because of the.
So I think I faded out just a moment. I want to make sure I understand. So it's if the House or the Senate, either one of them doesn't like the amendment to a bill that the other had attached, then it goes to a conference.
Correct.
And what was the deciding point, whether it goes to a traditional conference or the free conference?
That is decided by the leadership of the House and Senate. They make that decision.
Make that decision. It's not a technical measure. They just decide.
No.
But presumably what comes out of free conference still needs to go back to.
It has to go back to both houses, but it does not go back to committee. It goes directly back
To a floor vote.
Full body.
It
So
goes right
normally
to a
when like a
vote.
bill is amended, it goes to a committee, right? So if there's a requested amendment, in this case, when it happens in conference, it goes directly back to second reading.
So that's where they
Second reading, and then third reading is the final vote that it has before it would be transmitted to the governor. So for signature.
Okay.
So it'll go directly to second reading in both bodies. Then the next day would be third reading unless they suspend the rules, and then third reading can happen on the same day.
So after second, is there a vote after each of these readings?
Yes, after second reading, there's a vote, And then there's a vote on third reading. Second reading is when they actually get to speak up about the bill. So any legislator can stand up and say whatever they want around the bill. Third reading is just a straight vote of the body.
Okay.
With no discussion.
Oh, that's good. Thanks for the info.
Yeah. you bet.
And how does the like general public know that a free conference decision is being made, or that something will be going to free conference? You said that,
It will, so the bill status, there's a system called Bill Tracker, which is used by the state of Montana. You can go to leg.mt.gov and look up a bill, and any bill you can see where it is, and it would show, for example, if it went to free conference or a conference committee, and when that conference committee will meet. But again, those happen in relatively short order.
Right.
So usually they're either the same day or the very next day, and then they come immediately back to the bodies on second reading. And so it's a very tight, fast process that's happening, and especially because there's only 17 legislative days, including today, left in the session. So
Okay.
it is.
so every
much harder-
30 minutes you're checking.
It's much harder for the public and
Yeah.
and participants to, be able to interact during conference committee and free conference, just because of the very fast nature of which it moves.
So if we jump back to the TIF-TED bill that
Yes,
Emily's going to be
Senate Bill
testifying,
523.
would it be a benefit for any of us to do that? Or do you think it's better we stay out, or Emily's got it?
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
I would say, I think what I would encourage you to do is to reach out directly to any of the delegation members
Okay.
that you might. I think it's good to have the subject matter experts, especially around TIF and TED, because it is a very complicated bill,
Mhm.
be the ones providing the direct testimony. But I think reaching directly out to our delegation is
Okay.
a good thing. And of course, it's in the House now, even though it was the Senate bill, because it's already been transmitted over. So if you would like to know which committee it's being heard on and who's on that committee, I can shoot you that after. I don't have it pulled up.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Maybe the three of us can write one letter to those couple folks,
Sure.
if you guys are down with that.
totally.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
we beat
Is a
the horse
letter, I mean, what are people more receptive to? Can we
Yeah,
shoot them as,
Succinct
like-
email.
Yeah, it's a short
dead.
email.
I was just thinking the succinct email, because then it's all three of us.
yeah, perfect, okay.
And there's only gonna be a couple people, not that it's any
Yeah, our-
labor to write an email to
Yeah,
two.
just based on the size of the delegation.
Yeah, well,
We'll do that.
thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I will look out and get it to you.
Thanks,
Ready to
everybody.
close up?
I
All
think
right.
we're ready
Thank
to
you.
be done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Goodbye.